Ideas they shape, thoughts find out, and every conversation explores the art of thinking beyond the obvious. And today I have my special guest. One of his mission to elevate others so that we may all contribute to society at a higher level, none other than Mr. Steve Gallegos.
Yes,
Yay!
in the house, in the house, in the
In the
house.
house of Common. Welcome, welcome, Mr. Steve, once again. And can you please introduce more about yourself that I miss?
Well, we only have a limited amount of time, so
Make
so
it short for
yes, sir,
for everybody.
yes, sir, yes, sir. Daniel, thank you for producing this show, and thank you for inviting me to be a guest on this episode. And I'm excited to be here and share with your audience a little bit about my background and maybe even deliver some information, some strategies, some ideas that can help them navigate life a little bit better. And that's what I do. That's what I do right now. But I didn't start at this stage, obviously. I didn't start at this place in my life. It's something that I've evolved to. But I started life early as as someone that wanted to take his own life. I wanted to commit suicide because I was programmed to believe that I was um, worthless and that I didn't have any value to contribute to the world. And so this was the beliefs that I had been programmed with. And so by the time I was 17 years old, I had tried several times to take my life. And I'm glad that I didn't and that I made different choices uh, because my life has turned out to be extraordinary. And I'm not here to brag, but I'm here to share with you that if anybody is feeling, anybody listening, that if you're feeling that you don't know where you belong, that you don't know where your place is, or other people have told you that you are not worthy or that you have no value to contribute to society, I'm here to tell you that that's just a story. And that's a story that they have programmed you to believe. And that's not the truth. The truth is that you are here, that you are a living miracle, that you are a human being that has value and you have something to contribute to others. And if you haven't found it yet, then listening to shows like this one with the incredible host Daniel Lucas can help you find it because the information that you need is out there. Right? People, coaches, other coaches like me are out there that are willing to um, give you our experiences and the wisdom so that you can navigate life and know that at any time that you're going through life, you can just stop and yell, cut, and rewrite that story and become the producer and the director of your life. And this is, Daniel, where many people fall short because they believe that life is just something that happens to you. You're born and you're told what to do for the first 17, 18 years of your life, and you really have no idea of who you are or what you want until you become an adult and get out in the world. But then you get out there with these preconceived notions and beliefs about who you are and what your talents and skills and abilities are. And especially in today's day and age with social media, we look at all of these platforms and people saying, I drive a Ferrari when I'm 12 years old, right? Um, and we look at them and go, oh my gosh, my life sucks because I don't even have a driver's license. And yet there's a 12-year old with a garage full of Ferraris. All that is nonsense, right? And so we just need to learn how to find our own truth. And I'm here to tell you what that truth is that you are an incredible human being. And so I'm glad you're here. And I'm glad to be here with you, Daniel.
And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world, Mr. Steve. Thank you for empowering us. So, today, let's talk about You're Not Your Story, the lesson that will change your life. Tell us, Mr. Steve. Let's start with the big idea. What is the fundamental distinction you have between who we are and the story we will tell ourselves about who we are?
Uh, Excellent question. It's an excellent question to start off this episode. Is what is the difference between our stories and the reality of who we are? And let me ask a question to you and the audience. Have you ever watched a television show or a movie where you see the hero of the movie? Let's say, do you ever imagine that hero was always as valuable or as worthy or as successful as they appear in the movie, right? In other words, let's take
Hmm.
James Bond, the whole world. You know who James Bond is, right? Everybody knows who
Yes.
James Bond is. We see James Bond movies, and James has it all together, right? He's got skills. He knows how to shoot. He knows how to talk. He knows how to dress. He's always dressed elegantly. He's always driving Aston Martins. He's always protecting others. He's always getting the girl. And at the end of the day, he saves the world, right?
Hmm.
But what we don't know when we look at movies like James Bond or Top Gun or anything else, Superman, is that those people didn't always start being that hero. Every hero that we see in life, whether it's fictional life, like in movies and television, or in real life, like yourself, like you, Daniel, you're a hero because you produce a show that is designed to bring wisdom and valuable information to other people around the world that I will never get to meet. Yet, here we are on a platform that allows us to access information, wisdom, strategies, skills, ideas that can help all of us better our lives. And you, Daniel, are the hero because you're the one that's bringing this to the world, right? The world wouldn't know me if it wasn't for you. So I thank you for that. But you didn't always start being the hero that you are. You had to come to terms with what you wanted to do in this life. And what you wanted to do in this life is impacted first by who you thought you were and what you thought you were capable of. And we learned this before the age of 7. Before the age of 7, our parents, our teachers, the other adults in our lives tell us everything we need to know about who we are. And I'm here to tell you that 9 times out of 10, what they tell us is absolutely wrong. It's an absolute lie because when our parents tell us, oh, Daniel, you're going to become a famous doctor, you're going to become a lawyer or an engineer or a university professor, but yet in your heart, Daniel wants to sing, he wants to dance, he wants to create art, he wants to direct a theater production company, he wants to produce a podcast. These are the things that make Daniel's heart sing, but Daniel doesn't follow those dreams. Daniel doesn't follow those promptings because he has to be he has to obey, right? He has to be a good boy, right? Like me, I had to be a good boy and obey and follow what my parents told me to do, right?
Hmm.
So before the age of 7, we have no choice. So we grow up believing, well, my trajectory in life is to be a doctor. Why? Because that's what my parents want for me. Why? Well, they paid for my school. Why? Because my grandfather was a doctor and my uncles were all doctors and my sister's a doctor. Everybody in my family is a doctor, and that's what my parents want me to be. And so that's what I have to be. But when we get to the reality of it, you don't want to be a doctor. You want to be a chef. You want to run a restaurant. You want to write books. You want to travel the world and experience different cultures and become a photographer or an award-winning journalist or something that your parents disapprove of. But we go into life, we go into adulthood, go into college, go into medical school, thinking that we're pleasing our parents, all the while we're denying ourselves who we really are. And so, Daniel, we get to the age of 30, 40, 50 years old, and this is why you see people disrupting their lives and getting divorced and getting into trouble even,
Mm,
right? Because they now start asking when they're 40, 50, 60 years old, they start asking, Daniel, the questions that they should have asked when they were 17 and 18. But they didn't know to ask those questions. Those questions are, who am I? What do
mm,
I want? Not what do my parents want, not what do my teachers want, not what does society want from me, but what do I want from me? We never get to ask that question. But when we're 40, 50, 60 years old, we now start asking the question. We realize, oh my gosh, I've wasted half my life pursuing a career, pursuing a relationship, being in a relationship. Let's say it's a marriage or a toxic relationship that we were forced into, that we had no choice. And we think, this is my story, this is who I am. And I'm here to tell you, it's not who you are. Your story is not who you are. It's simply a story, just like you see Daniel Craig, who's been the recent James Bond actor. He appears in other movies too,
mm.
so
Yes.
that he's showing us that he can be in different stories, just like you can. You can be in different stories. If you do not like the life that you're living right now, you can change it. And I know it's easy to say, oh, yeah, Steve, you can change your story. But I know that because I've experienced it. I know that because I did it. I changed my story from that of a worthless 17-year-old kid who wanted to take his life. I changed it by becoming a United States Marine. Then I changed that by becoming a law enforcement officer. Then I changed that by becoming a trial attorney, board certified. Then I changed that by becoming a commercial photographer. Then I changed that by becoming a award-winning author and international speaker, and someone that gets to sit here and with Daniel and have this beautiful conversation about how to help other people. I wouldn't have been able to be here today, Daniel, if I hadn't realized that what I was living before was just a story. And then realizing that because it's just a story, I didn't have to live that story. I could change it, just like we change the channels on television. When we see a movie or a program that, that program stinks, we change the channel, right?
Yes.
And so we can do that with our lives. We can change the channel, or we can change the trajectory of where we're going in our life by sitting down and rewriting the story. But it doesn't stop there. Beyond just writing the story, now we have to produce it. And this means that we get to gather all of the resources. And by resources, primarily, I mean people. Sometimes it means money. Sometimes it means you have to move. Sometimes it means you have to let go of some of the relationships that you're in right now. It might mean that you have to get divorced. It might mean that you have to break up with a person in your life that is not supporting you and not encouraging you and is not helping you realize the life that you want to live, right? This is the production aspect of it. And then the big role, the big responsibility is we need to become the director of our lives. And again, I love to use this metaphor of the television and the movie industry because when the director of the James Bond film is directing the movie, he or she has a vision for what they want the audience to see. And so at any time that James Bond, the actor, is not doing or speaking or acting like the director wants, the director doesn't let James, the actor, just do whatever the heck he wants. No. The director yells, cut! And what happens? Everything stops. All the action stops, right? We
Yes.
stop the action. And we call over the writer, we call over the caterer and say, you're putting too much caffeine or too much sugar on the table. And it's making the actors go crazy, right? We need to get them something more healthy so they can, be more vibrant and awake, when they're doing what they do on screen, right? And so we make all these changes as the director. And only when the changes are made do we then say, action, and the scene rolls again. And finally, we keep doing this over and over and over again until we get the finished product the way we want it. Well, our lives are just that way, Daniel. We don't have to take all the nonsense that is being thrown at us by other people.
Mhm.
We don't have to submit to the roles that other people think we should play. If you're a woman and somebody has told you, shut up, sit there and be quiet, you're to be seen and not heard, like a lot of women grow up being told, right? Just look pretty and don't say anything. Let me, the man, do all the talking. Let me do all the work. You just stay at home and raise our babies. You know what? That used to be the way life was lived for many women in across the world for many decades. But it doesn't have to be that way. So if you're longing for a different life for yourself, if you're longing for a different career, a different relationship, a different neighborhood, a different lifestyle, a different experience for your own health and wellness and spiritual journey, if you're longing for something else, there is a reason for that. It's not just fanciful thinking or dreaming. The reason that you're feeling these prompts deep inside your soul and in your heart is because that's what you came here to do. That's what you came here to experience. If you're very happy and satisfied and fulfilled in the life that you have right now, perfect. Perhaps that's where you belong. But if at any moment you wake up you wake up and go, is this all there is to my life? Is isn't there supposed to be more joy, more happiness, more adventure, more experience, more light, more sunshine, right? If you've ever asked yourself those questions, I urge you to keep examining that and pursuing that to find out where you really belong. Because if you're asking yourself those questions, it's because you haven't found that space yet.
Mr. Steve, if these stories can be so limiting, why do you cling to them so tightly? What purpose does the story serve, even a negative one, in our psyche?
Oh, very good question. And now we're getting to the heart of things. Are you sure you want to know the answer?
Yes, please.
Yes. Why? A beautiful question. Why do we cling so tightly to these stories? And there's only one reason, and that is because we have told ourselves those stories for so long, Daniel, that they become part of our identity. And so when anybody suggests the idea that we can change a story, or that we could move, or that we could get in a different relationship, or that we could have a better health, better wellness, or that we could live a better lifestyle, we get afraid because we don't know what that looks like. And so 9 out of 10 people are going to say, you know what, this isn't the best life perhaps, but it's better than the unknown. The unknown is scary, right? Because we've never experienced, let's say that you're in a relationship where your other spouse or partner is abusive to you or not supportive, whether they yell at you, physically hurt you, demean you, right? There's a lot of relationships like that. So that's why I'm using it as an example. Many people will choose to stay in that because at least I know somebody loves me.
Mhm.
Because your perception of love is that when the other person is yelling at you, hitting you, at least they're paying attention to you, right? And so your identity is, this is what love is, number one. This is what love means. This is how people express love because it's all you've known. And this is the life I was meant to live because I can't see another way out. Right. And so this is why we lock ourselves in. We say, I'm a victim. I'm meant to be a victim, and there's no other opportunity or option for me. And so I'm just going to stay. Because the minute you start suggesting that you can live a better life, you can find somebody that actually loves you, encourages you, and supports you without physical abuse, without insulting you, without demeaning you, without putting you in a cage, without telling you, without insulting you, you don't know what that life looks like. It's like if I told somebody, um, just pick anybody, random person out of the audience, Daniel, and we say, okay, whatever your life is right now, I want you to imagine a completely different life where you're, let's say, the king of a country and you have hundreds of thousands of people following you and you're the leader and you're got millions and millions of dollars worth of gold stored up. That's fantasy, right? You can't imagine what that looks like. Why?
Mhm.
Because you've never experienced it. And so because we've never experienced it, we don't allow ourselves to go there. This is why we tell our children, right? When we grew up, Daniel, we were dreaming of traveling to space and saving the world and being Superman and being Spider-Man and being, whoever your hero was when you were a kid. We ran through the playground, remember?
Mhm.
You would just say, I'm Superman, and you would pretend you're running so that you could fly, right?
Mhm.
Um, we had these crazy imaginations. And what happened? Our parents told us, oh, don't be silly, don't be stupid, right? You'll never achieve that. You'll never be an astronaut. You'll never be a fireman. You'll never be the president of the country. You'll never be a billionaire. Or you'll never have a Ferrari when you're 12 years old. All of these things, right, that our parents tell us. And so they teach us to limit ourselves. And so if we grow up in an environment where we see our parents abuse each other, let's say that your parents fight all the time, maybe there's alcohol involved, maybe there's physical abuse involved, and you're seeing this even before you're born, you're experiencing this negative environment. Your belief when you come into this world is that that's how people show love. That's what love means because I saw my father hit my mother after he tells her he loves her and he's sorry and they hug and they go to the bedroom and do whatever they do in the bedroom. That's love. And so you go out into the world and you now get confronted with something hurtful or something painful or something that challenges you, and you go off and you hit your partner. Why? Because that's what you learned to do. That
Mhm.
was your experience of love. And so if somebody like Daniel or somebody like Steve comes along and says, it doesn't have to be that way, your mind goes crazy. You don't allow yourself to think about another opportunity because you don't know what that looks like. And so I encourage you, I encourage you to, number one, ask the question, is there something better for me out there? Has anybody before me, has any other woman left a bad relationship before and built a better life for herself? Has any other man left a negative relationship before and built a better life, created a better world for himself? If the answer is yes, then you know you can do it too. But Steve, I'm afraid because I don't know what's on the other side of this. Well, this is where you get to work with coaches like myself or other uh, fabulous coaches that Daniel has interviewed. And you can talk to them. You can talk to us and say, help me transition from this negative environment to this positive environment. And you don't even have to work with us. You can buy books. Like I have books out there that you can read. You can go to my website. In fact, I encourage you to go to my website and go to the resources section, um, where I
Mhm.
have free information for you. You don't even have to, I think it's, I call it the services section, Daniel.
Services at the
If you
bottom.
click on
Oh,
services, yeah.
media about Calvin.
No, go to the services, the second tab over. Go to the left. Yeah,
Services.
go there.
Okay. Services.
Yeah, I think if you
Okay.
click there
Uh-huh.
and you scroll down, Learning Lounge. There you go. Go
Mm-hmm.
to the Learning Lounge. Okay, click on there. At the bottom, it says Read More,
Read more. Okay.
Learning Lounge. Now, here I have audios and information
Cases.
complimentary.
Yes.
You don't even
Yes.
have to sign up. You can just listen to this stuff, right? Or you could go to my YouTube channel where I have hundreds of other videos and talks and those kinds of things. And so this is where you can go and get some resources to start thinking about what your life can look like and be like, what your career can look like and be like. You're not making enough money now to set it to build the life that you want. Well, how do you transition to a new career? How do you know that you can actually earn $100,000 a year if you've only earned $30,000 a year for the last 10 years, right? The fact is that
Mm-hmm.
you can. The fact is that you can, and you just need to take step by step. But first you need to start by becoming aware that you want something different for your life.
Something different. I like that, Mr. Steve. And before we wrap up our discussion for today, I'm inviting you to please do listen to my other podcast, people. My other podcast, because my abstract essay is already in fifth season. Abstract poetry in second season, and my book 101 review in fifth season too. Comedy 101 in third season, and my food 101 in fifth season as well. Geography 101, love letters, movie 101 review, music 101, our fourth season, science 101, sex 101, second season, and my baby podcast, law 101, mental health 101, and Bible verses 101. Please listen to them wherever you listen your podcast. So, Mr. Steve, in a single sentence, what is the greatest gift or the most profound sense of freedom that someone receives when they finally internalize the lesson that you are not your story?
Beautiful question. What is that feeling, that experience that they're going to? What are they going to feel and experience? Is what you just said. It's freedom. It's
Hmm.
freedom to know that whatever situation we're in, that you are in today, tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now, you can change it at any time simply by yelling "cut" and then
Mm-hmm.
writing that scene the way you want it, gathering the resource together that you need in order to produce that life, produce that money, produce that business, produce that relationship, produce your great health or wellness, produce a better sex life, whatever it is that you want. And then you become the director by staying on top of it, by supervising the people in your life and making sure that they are acting and behaving and supporting you the way that you want. And at any minute that you believe or that you feel that it's not going the way that you designed it, again, you go back to yelling cut and go through the whole process again. So it's the freedom to know that this isn't going to last forever. I can change it.
Yes. Cut.
Cut.
Interesting, Mr. Steve. And thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom to the world. So, can you please invite our listeners to support your business, your advocacy, or whatever projects that you're doing right now?
Certainly. I just released the book. In fact, I'm going to reach over and grab a copy of it. I just released a book called Unshackled.
Mm-hmm.
Unshackled. This is for women that are ready to yell cut and write and direct their own life. And this version is for women, and I'm working on the version for men right now, which is going to be called Unleashed, for men that are ready to yell cut and write and direct their own life. And this is available on Amazon. So if you just go to Amazon and look for Unshackled Book by Steve Gallegos, you'll be able to get a copy of it. And then it comes, once you get the book, it comes with a magic exclusive gift that I can't share with you on camera, but there it is. You'll be able to access it, but you have to get the book to get this exclusive free gift that is going to help you do what I say, yell, cut, and write and direct your life.
Yes, to wreck your life indeed. So, Mr. Steve, thank you again for another inspiring and empowering episode. Yes, people, support Mr. Steve Gallegos because if you support him, for sure, more and more empowering books to come, more and more empowering advocacy to rise. So, Mr. Steve, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate you. I appreciate your listeners, and happy holidays coming up.
Happy holidays! And of course, happy Thanksgiving, everyone! More to come, people. See you soon.